I know. You saw the title of the video and was like, what? Yeah. This is the motorcycle mentality video. Now, the reason why I ended back when I did was because motorcycle season was pretty much ending, and I didn't want to torture myself by talking about when, where I'm at, we had to close up our motorcycle. You can't be out riding and everything. So, yeah, winter season sucks. So, yeah. So that was my main reason. Now, since this is pretty much things are starting to warm up, winter is pretty much receding back, which is good. Pretty much supposedly this is the final month of winter, but seems like everything's starting to, I'm starting to see the street again. I'm seeing some grass. So, high hopes, man, high hope. That's all I can say. It is still cold outside, though. I do apologize for yawning. I'm on break from work. I did a lot, so if I seem exhausted or I'm yawning a lot, that's just my body's like, saying, relax time. So, for this motorcycle mentality, the last time I talked about it, I was talking about there's some accessories or some function or some nuances that you may not be familiar with, which is why you should always check out the motorcycle. Whether it's in a dealership or if it's a private sale, look at everything. Sit on the bike, because there could be some things that you're not familiar with, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Because for me, what shocked me, now you gotta remember, before, I finally acquired my motorcycle, everything I knew about motorcycle was foot pegs. Every motorcycle, from my existence, from when I started riding on them, even in the MSF course and, using my friends and everything, foot pegs. That was it. I was not familiar with floorboards. That shit threw me off. I was like, what the fuck are those? Because they look like giant ears like Dumbo. You know what I mean? And I was like, what is that? And, the salesman who was with me, he was like, oh, those are floorboards. Instead of, you relying on your foot pegs and stuff like that, you just relax your feet. It's good for people that want to do, like, long-distance riding or touring. And I was like, they must scrape a lot. That was my mentality, so I asked him, do those get damaged? Like, people, because when you turn, you lean. So, and he goes, well, it depends on how the rider is. I mean, they do fold up, so it's like, whatever. But yeah, they could scrape depending on how the rider rides and, whatever. But they are replaceable. Like, you don't have floorboards on them. You can actually swap them out and put in the foot peg. And I was like, oh, that's convenient. And another thing I saw was a toe heel shifter for the clutch. I understand the toe shifter, that's on every motorcycle. Well, if it's not, automatic, it's the manual, everyone had a clutch lever. Well, that's the handle, clutch lever, the actual toe clutch, and I never seen one where it's a toe heel. And I was like, okay, wouldn't that mess up the whole coordination? And the salesman was like, well, not really. If you don't feel like, clicking, going up the gear using your toes, you can just stomp down by using your heel and it will still go up, same functionality. Just like, how when you go under the clutch and then you click it up to go to the second gear, third gear, or whatever, on the heel part, you're really just hitting down, because it's like, think of it like a lever or, one of those seesaws. You click down, the thing's going to still click up, because the actual main module is up here. So even though if you always click your toe up, it'll go like that, but with the toe heel shifter, it's like you hit, it's still, the functionality is still the same. So it's like, I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you just want just the front, that's replaceable too. So that's one of the thing about it. Don't be afraid to ask questions about what the motorcycle can do. There could be some things, like I've seen sports bikes in that dealership that have floorboards. That shit, again, it looked like Dumbo, you know, the elephant, you know, big ass ears. It's weird, but from what I've heard from the salesman, people kind of did like it. You know, everybody's different, which I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, I guess that's the thing. It's a thing. But yeah, so, I mean, again, things like that, especially, you know, like some motorcycles have gear indicators. Other don't. So if you end up acquiring a motorcycle that don't have a gear indicator, you have to mentally remember what gear you're in. Plus, it's not that hard. I mean, all you gotta do is either count up to 5 or 6, depending on what bike you have. It's not that big of a deal. Neutral, that's a whole different story. You know, all you gotta do is click half up, and it's like, don't put full force, but like a little nudge, click up. It's like, yeah, neutral. You'll see a green neutral, like, you know, come on anyway, to let you know, hey, you're in neutral. What's another thing? Some motorcycle has ABS, others don't. Now, there's a lot of people saying ABS is not worth it, and other people saying actually ABS is very helpful. It helps me. Where I stand in the ABS route is, if you have it on the bike, use it. If your bike don't have it, get used to how the bike, no matter what bike you have to respect the bike. Because no matter what, I don't care if it's a 120cc bike or even a fucking Grom. I don't care. You still got to respect that bike, because guess what? They're still faster, and you know, you got to actually know how to control and actually understand, because you can fall off a bike, drop the bike, or all that other stuff. So the whole thing with the ABS is pretty much an anti-lock and braking system, and it I mean, my car has ABS, and it seems like a lot of newer motorcycles that's coming in has ABSs. Of course, there are motorcycles that don't have ABS, but it all depends on who the rider is. Where I stand at is, if it has it, it has it. If it don't, it don't. But if you got a bike that do have it, utilize it. Get used to it. If you turn it off, then that's your choice. That's the whole point of this whole thing. It's your choice. You don't have to have the ABS even on. You can actually turn it off. Now, with that being said, that's, you know, pretty much the choice of flavor. That's pretty much how I look at it. Another thing, some motorcycles have the tachometer, some don't. It depends on the motorcycle. I mean, not tachometer, the speedometer, sorry. You know, it's like either or. Some of them will have both, some of them will just have one, you know. It's all there. Like I said, always make sure you look around. I mean, this is something that a lot of people seem to be like, oh, when I think of a motorcycle, this is blah, 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 you know, by the look. But when you actually sit on the bike and actually pay attention to what the bikes offer, then you're like, oh, wow, this is what I was not expecting. So it's always good to have questions. Be careful if you want to automatically add mod to your bike. Like, automatically, because that shit will go up at the price. So, for me, the motorcycle, everything was already set, good, you know. I was like, yeah, this is what I want. Everything was paid, and I got, you know, I own the bike. So, it's like, everything was pretty much good. Do it have all the things that I would like it to have? Not really, but I'm not going to disqualify the bike, because guess what? It's actually a really good bike. I'm very, very happy with what I got, and it's actually very comfortable too. A lot of people always say the stock seat are the worst, but for some reason mine is not bad, so I'm okay with it. I haven't sat on anything that made my butt go, oh, hell no. It was like, it's not bad. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying, just sit on the bike, relax, let it be known, you know, see how it feels for you. Don't be ashamed. Don't be all like, is it weird if I just sit on it? Go ahead, fucking sit on it. Also, when you're sitting on the bike, Balancing. How do it feel? Where do your toe reach? If you're on your tippy toes when you just sitting on a bike and you're idle, if you're on your tippy toes, you might have to, have the bike be dropped a little bit, just to assume your height. And they can do that, lower the suspension, so to speak. Not too much, because if you do too much, then you're pretty much going to fuck up the bike. Or if you can flat foot it, that means it's comfortable. It's great. So you want to have that ability to be idle. Don't just get on the bike because, oh, it's a tongue-tied. Sorry. It's the Ducati Diavolo. I like it, but you could barely have your toes on the ground. So what? We can drop the suspension. No, just mess up its profile. The silhouette looks great. We really suggest you, no, I know what I want. Next, within a couple days or so, something happened and you didn't have much of, you get what I'm saying. It's like, these bikes have weights. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's why I'm saying, make sure, if you can get your feet planted, even if you're on your toes, but make sure you got more foot plant than toe plant, because that will definitely help out. But like I said, everybody's different. It all depends on whom. The placement of mirrors, are you comfortable with that? There are adjustments and stuff like that. There's a lot of things. That's why I'm saying, check out the bike. May have something that new that might throw you off. Like for me, the whole floorboards thing, I wasn't ready for that. So like I said, I was like, what's that? He was like, what? No, what is that? It was just, things like that are important. Ask a lot of questions. Definitely do research. And once you're okay with the bike you have, congratulations. Now, if it's about the color thing, some bike, depends on the dealership or where you're getting it at. They might be able to color swap it, or you might have to go to a different company, either, repaint the bike or pretty much have it wrapped. So that's all on you. But don't expect, if you like, for example, you always want to have a Yamaha Bolt and they only had the color red and you wanted gray, but the fucker only had red, and you're like, I don't want it then. And next sometime down the line, you're like, you know what? I should get it. And it's too late because they sold it. You know what I mean? It's like things like that. If the colors bother you, there are other ways of having that, taken care of. So, that's all it is. I mean, there are different flavors. I mean, hell, even ask the salesman. If you're at a dealership, like say you're looking at a Honda Grom, you're like, that yellow kind of too much. Is there any darker tone color, like maybe blue? And they can be like, you know what? Let's look in the system. I can actually have one delivered here, and blah 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 blah. And of course, it's gonna price thing, but it depends on how you and your car salesman talk with each other, negotiate, and things of that nature. So that's all I got for this video for the motorcycle mentality, and pretty much I don't know if there's going to be any more. I feel like I covered everything, so this might be the final motorcycle. You know what? I can't say that. I won't say that. There's probably going to be more, just things going to pop up, but all I can say is I can't wait. I get to ride again. Yes. Whew. Alright then. Later.